About 1.7 million people are estimated to be living with breast cancer. 522,000 persons die every year from the condition. This is according to the Global Cancer Observatory. According to the National Strategy for Cancer Control 2014 to 2017, about 50% to 80% of patients in Ghana present the advanced stage 3 and 4 of the disease many months after first noticing a change in their breasts. Breast cancer is one of the commonest forms of cancer. It is predominantly a female disease, although a few men have been diagnosed with the condition. The disease involves the uncontrolled growth of cells in the human breast. As dangerous as the disease is, not many people are aware of it. Though some have attributed superstitious reasons for the condition rather than medical, its effect on human breasts hasn't waned. Though breast cancer, if diagnosed early, can be treated, not much has been done in raising awareness about the disease until recently. October of every year has been designated as Breast Cancer Awareness Month globally, and in Ghana, a number of institutions devote time and resources to educate and screen people for the condition. Black women, 40 years and above, are more at risk of suffering from the condition. Other risk factors include smoking, drinking, and genetic makeup of people. Despite the general fact that the condition is prevalent amongst elderly women, some young persons too can be affected. Beatrice, not her real name, is one of such young persons. She is a 27-year-old nurse who was diagnosed of breast cancer 4 years ago. Her life has never been the same. We visited her at her base in Hull, where she shared her journey with the disease with us.
Late part of 2015 to early part of 2016, I realized that there was this fluid coming out from my left nipple. It wasn't smelling, and the color was like some yellowish. It wasn't totally yellowish, light yellow, the cream color. And I was like, let me just show this to one of the doctors around. So the first examination was like, we need to operate on you to take the biopsy to see what exactly the lump is, whether it's cancerous or non-cancerous. And so, okay, the next day the biopsy was scheduled and I went for it. I had to wait for the results, I think 1 or 2 weeks. When I went for the results, I actually opened the result to read myself. I'm curious about that. So when I read through the result, I realized it was cancerous. And the feeling, I can't really explain, but it's kind of, there's nobody from your family that has this disease, and all of a sudden, even at this younger age, that was 30 years. So I was like, what is this? It was just like, I just saw myself standing in the open. I feel like I am just the only one in a very big world. Because I don't know, how come? A lot of questions were running through my mind. And with tears flowing all over.
What of her partner? Did she have any? Well, she did. But how did her partner take the news of her having breast cancer?
Oh, the guy I was dating back then actually traveled out of the country before this whole thing was discovered. But when he was about to return, I had no choice than to break the news to him before he comes to see me. I gathered courage. It wasn't easy. It was a whole rehearsal on its own. So I gathered courage and I told him. I showed him the scars on my chest. He reacted as if it was normal. Until he came back, I had no idea he even got back. The time he got back, I knew he was coming, but I didn't know he had come. So I only got to find out on a group page that he was getting married.
Speaking of breast cancer and pregnancy, Let's hear what resident oncologist at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital, Dr. Mervyn Boachi Ajiman, had to say.
Some people may develop breast cancer while pregnant. Okay. Some people may have breast cancer, and after the treatment, all the treatment they will go through, they can still get pregnant. So the fact that you have breast cancer doesn't really prevent you from becoming pregnant, or the fact that you've gone through treatment doesn't prevent you from becoming pregnant. With patients who we know some of the treatment that we are given can have effects on their ovaries, there are other options that you have in place to try and preserve their ovaries. Okay. So sometimes there are medication we can give to you whilst you're on the treatment so that we try and preserve your ovaries. So in that case, you don't have to, the treatment doesn't have to affect the ovaries.
One of the most important things a breast cancer patient needs is to have people around her to provide love and care. Beatrice explains how important it is to have loved ones around through the process.
My immediate family, they were there for me. We are not that financially sound, but everybody contributed what they could, especially those who knows about it. My family had an uncle in abroad. The wife will always call and will be like, Jennifer, you can do this. You can. Everything is going to be okay. Just, I have people who have gone through this and they are fine. Don't be scared. And that alone, whenever I go to the chemo room, that voice keep echoing in my mind, and that was what kept me going.
There is some kind of stigmatization when it comes to breast cancer because people rather look down upon you once you have breast cancer. The next thing is, okay, you are going to die. People are not really encouraging, so giving encouraging words to help you out. So that's one thing about in our society. But these things are things that the general public should know, that once somebody has breast cancer, it's not a death warrant. You should rather support the person.
Some patients learn to accept their fate and ready to take on the disease. However, the high cost of treatment is often prohibitive. 28-year-old Ya, a patient and a mother of 4, is in the race of her life to raise funds for treatment.
Banjemi wojidi sesemenya sa 200 million na doctor ne be boa me ama me ho ato me na odi agina so ahwe me ama de wose woye wonufuo no mu amenya yalesa no obetima de agina sa sika no so na wotima asa me yale ama manya ahoto.
As Ghana joins the rest of the world to mark this year's Breast Cancer Month, a consultant surgeon and professor of surgery at the University of Ghana Medical Center, Professor Jonat Clegg-Lamte, has stressed the need for government to support needy breast cancer patients with funds through their treatment. Currently, Ghana lacks a formal breast cancer control policy, although breast cancer diagnosis and treatment are covered by Ghana's National Health Insurance Scheme. Only about 40% of the population is enrolled, as others face financial barriers to access.
Most of the stuff is covered, the diagnosing, and then you start treatment depending on the type you have, whether it's surgery, chemotherapy, radiotherapy. We have tariffs for all. At the time you're ill, your mind needs to be free to concentrate on beating whatever illness you have. That is not the time to be worried about money. So let's all keep our cards active. And breast cancer is pretty much covered comprehensively.
Breast cancer does not only occur amongst women at the age of 40 and above. Women between the ages of 20 and 30 can get breast cancer. Therefore, it is important that we all get screened at the nearest clinic or hospital for early detection and treatment. Reporting for Citi News, I am Adoley Moffatt.